Welcome to the Law, Your Money, and You. I'm Roberta Sapphire, an attorney in Sharon, Massachusetts.
I'm Camille Barron, a healthcare advisor and financial coordinator, also in Sharon, Massachusetts.
And today is a special Law, Your Money, and You event. We're having Rebecca Greenberg, our Director of Operations. She was an attorney at the federal court for how many years, Rebecca?
Almost 27.
And she's only 28. But anyway, we're having her join us as a guest and to go over just what we're doing and what's been going on with the coronavirus. We've been talking about students and finances and health and businesses, and now we'll just chit-chat about everything in general. And Camille, did you introduce yourself?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Okay, how should we start? Camille, you ask Becca a question.
Okay, Rebecca, I don't think our viewers realize that you write and publish our newsletter, and it keeps getting better every single time. I mean, the latest one was really wonderful, and maybe you could talk a little bit about The Law, Your Money, and You being much more than just a TV show.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
also we got sponsors now that are actually wanting to pay to be in our newsletter.
And we actually put one of the sponsors in the newsletter. So the more people sponsor us, the more they'll get into the newsletter. So yeah, but the newsletter has a lot more stuff. It has, we're now putting links to the cable show in there, and also updates on the Police Officers Are Our Friends activity coloring books that we're doing. We've got a couple of dozen requests for books from various police departments in Massachusetts. And so we do that as well. And then
How many departments have we published these books for up till now?
Roberta would know.
About 2 dozen. And we got about 2 dozen more requests. You know what's funny? In this coronavirus, they've contacted us, but the books are kind of like on hold. I don't know if they're, just not getting out there. They don't need them yet, or I don't know how much work is thrown on them extra because of this.
I think probably that's the case, is that this is, they're focused on other stuff right now. And so it's quiet,
And plus, if they're planning to give these away at events, they're probably not having a whole lot of
events.
Right.
I just found out. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Oh, I was going to say, since usually the police resource officer will, distribute these books to like elementary students and in a course of a presentation at the school. And now since schools are closed, there's probably less need of that. So there's not.
Yeah.
I just got a notice that there is a special, they have a special committee, the Massachusetts governor, and every state is different, has appointed a committee of 17 people, including his whoever. Anyway, I just got a crazy thing. But that they have a special website of their own that people can go to and let them know what they think of the opening, because they're going to make recommendations May 18th, and and they have a special website. I think what we'll do is we'll send it out to people if they want to make any things. Our issue is that you got to open everything. If you just open like in a celebration, how can you do a celebration if you have a guest list of 150 and they only want to let 10 or 15 or 20 in? So they
have to work out a lot of logistics.
Yeah, it's interesting that they made a special website for that. But how are they letting people know? That's the other question. And another thing is, we've got people that are talking about the PPP and the thing. But like Camille, what have you been doing when you shut in? People are interested in what we do.
You mean outside of the lawyer money you mean?
Yeah, what have you been?
Oh, yes, yes. So in our business, which is health insurance, there really isn't much change in the demand for health insurance now because most people, if they're 65, they need Medicare, and we help them with that. And if they're under 65 and they retire, they need health insurance. But on the other side of the business, because there's two lines of business, there's the health insurance and then there's the health care for people who need guidance, who need someone who's advocating for them. And we had Diane Savastano, the owner of the company, on not long
Yeah,
ago.
she was on. She was great.
Yes. And, most of the people who are clients of our business, the clinical side of the business, they tend to be older people, or else if they're younger, they have conditions that have to be managed. And of course, these people really, they have to be selective, even unless they have an emergency, they be canceling doctor appointments unless it's a critical need. And a lot of them are older and they haven't ever done telehealth appointments, the video appointments. It's a similar platform to Zoom, only it's one made for medical professionals. So there's a lot of adjusting that they have to do, probably more than us, the younger generation.
Have you lost any along the way?
We did have one. We actually lost one client to the coronavirus.
Oh,
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad.
question for you. Maybe, I don't know if you know this, but does it make a difference how doctor or hospital categorizes if someone comes in or dies of the coronavirus versus pneumonia or some other basis?
What a good question.
Like medical, like for insurance, does it make a difference if they say, well, I came in because I thought I had coronavirus versus I came in because I was having trouble, breathing or just coughing or whatever?
Yeah, well, there have been some concessions made now for coronavirus, for some of the appointments now. They are covered now. They are covered so that the patient doesn't have to pay anything. Like for Medicare, it covers
All
it.
plans? All plans?
Medicare does. Medicare covers it completely. The patient doesn't have to pay anything. Normally, the patient has to pay a portion of the cost of the visit, unless they have the Medicare supplement insurance.
That's
Then they
not-
don't.
The last time we went in for a checkup was in February, and the doctor says, "Oh, you haven't had a tetanus shot. You're supposed to have it every 10 years." And then afterwards, I got billed almost $100. So we called up, Blue Cross said it wasn't covered. So I had Jerry call, because I don't like making those calls. I had Jerry call, and the person agreed with him that it should have been covered, but it wasn't covered because we didn't make arrangements for it ahead of time. Well, how does anybody know? I think you ran into this, Becca, too, where they want to give you a shot or something or other, but they don't tell you until you're on the spot. And how do you not know? So we said, well, how do you not know? Well, if you ask. Well, how can you ask if you don't know that it's coming? So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
I didn't have a problem with the shingle shot, but my brother did, and he went to get the shot, and they said, well, it's $400. So, and I said, well, it was free for me, and we had good insurance. So I don't know whether you just always say, listen, I don't want anything unless it's going to be covered.
Play it first, but nobody knows. No,
Yeah.
even
See, in your case, Roberta, if you went in, say for just a routine visit, and you were getting the shot as a preventive thing, it would have been different. But it sounds like with the way that they coded that visit and the shot, you were getting it for treatment. Maybe that's what they might have thought, it was for a treatment rather than preventive. I don't know, but it sounds like that might have been it.
I think your words are right with the thing preventive, but what they said, if it's, no matter what it is, if you planned for it in advance, it would be taken care of. But because nobody arranged for it, asked them beforehand, then it's not. You can't just send it in. I don't know. But, you know, and another thing there with the doctors in the hospital and the hospital visits, if you have I don't know if they're still doing it, but doctors used to have designated rooms in their office, and they would call it an operating room. And therefore, the hospitals could bill out.
Yeah.
But if you're overnight in the hospital and it's for observation, they charge you. You were saying, Becca, the code. It's a code, a different code than if you're admitted as an inpatient.
That's right. And this is on Medicare particularly, they will bill it. They will consider you an outpatient, which is different coverage than an inpatient. And the biggest hit with that, not just the hospital cost, but if people are discharged to skilled nursing or rehab, if you were admitted as an inpatient and stayed 3 nights, you'd be discharged to the rehab facility and it would be covered. But the problem is, if they have you on observation basis for the same 3 nights, you're not covered for the skilled nursing, and people are getting hit with huge.
How do they know? There was one of the politicians on TV the other night. He says, "What are we doing helping these hospitals that are for-profit institutions?" One of the hospitals, I won't say which one, but forbid, might need them sometime, but they went from non-profit to for-profit. We had them on the show years ago.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember.
yeah.
Had the president on
Yep.
on there. It
Yeah.
was funny, but they said they were going to profit. From non-profit, they switched over to profit. So that's interesting. But look at the way they stopped the operations. Like if somebody needed a knee operation, they called that non-essential. But I think they're doing them again, aren't they?
I think some places are doing them again.
Yeah, I don't know about here. I'm not sure, but I think it's certainly bound to happen very soon if it hasn't already.
Well, at the end of our show, I'm going to put that website on the screen so that if anybody so that if anybody wants to go to give their 2 cents about what the governor should do when he reopens.
Yeah.
It's funny, they had all these 17 lists of people, but there was no way to get a hold of them. But a nice legislative aide to Lou Kafka, Ted, I can't think of his name. He also used to be my neighbor, Ted Phillips, who is, Lou Kafka's not running again. So Ted Phillips is legislative aide. He's going to run. Lou Kafka was on the show, remember?
Oh, yes, he was
He
good.
also helped sponsor us. We've known him for years. His mother, for the local people in Sharon, or if anybody wants to take, people come from all over to take a ride to Sharon. If you ever notice, it says Dubinsky Way on the way to the community center. That's his mother's maiden name.
Oh.
That community center used to be a grand hotel, and in the 1890s, the only way you could get there was by ferry over Lake Massapog. And there were pictures of even in the 1890s where they danced and had full orchestras for breakfast.
Wow, really?
But today we got Alexa. Huh? Alexa play full orchestra. You got to watch out. There's another. I keep getting these scams. Oh, she's talking. She heard her name. Wait a minute. Alexa, stop. She says
She can be on the show if she wants. The
voice.
voice.
She's going to get something on Amazon Music. You got to watch it. You can't say Amazon. You have to say Pandora. Otherwise, sooner or later, you get a bill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from Amazon that you've signed up for their music. And another one, I get all these things. I get these. I get these once a week or so. This is one. I know your name. I know your password. Have you got these? I have all your contacts, and every time you go to a porn site.
That was in my last Mass newsletter, a little article about that scam, and actually someone very close to me had that happen
Really?
and didn't realize it was a scam and was
Yeah.
super upset and, took it as like, oh my God, what am I going to do? They have my password, they have all my, pictures, they have everything. And
Yeah.
Well, with
so,
me, they picked the wrong one because I don't do any.
right.
I don't do any of that stuff. And if I ever did, it wouldn't be on a computer. And I can't, I wouldn't be able to lift my hand. But I mean, you really gotta worry. I mean, you say, what are you, crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's so many of them, and you just have to say. I said, look, because some family relatives have fallen for some of these scams, and I'm like, if it's too good to be true, it's too good,
Mm.
and just question everything. If you don't know who it's from, and it sounds really kind of suspicious, you got to question everything these days, unfortunately.
You
But there's
do.
so many who think, don't realize that, especially like the IRS scams. Probably most of America owes the IRS. So when they tell them they're coming to put them in jail if they don't give the money right away, they probably run out and whatever, their gambling money or cigarette money or any other kind of money. I don't know, it's amazing, isn't it? But
Yeah.
what else? What else? Oh, Elizabeth Englander. We in Massachusetts have the greatest schools and everything. She just put out a book on cyberbullying. She's the one that does I forget the name of it, which I shouldn't, at Bridgewater State.
Mark,
Yeah, the Mark Center.
right. I forget what the mark stands for though. Massachusetts.
Massachusetts Aggression Reduction
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Center, is it?
Yes. I think that's
Yeah,
what
that I remember. Yeah,
And
but
that was quite a cause that we were promoting 2 or 3, maybe even more.
yeah, the
years ago.
cyberbullying and that's how we got into the police book
Right.
Our Friends, to stop the violence on
Hmm.
police. We got a grant for anti-violence, which was the cyberbullying and all that.
Yeah.
And then we decided to do we fell backwards into it.
Hmm.
And it became, but I'm trying to think what else. Gee, the funny thing is we covered a lot from the coronavirus. Now, when you go out, what are you doing for masks? Because that's a big topic lately.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, both of you. Yes.
I made my own with socks that were like, novelty socks, like they had little kitty faces on them, and just, tied it up with some like wire that goes around like organic lettuce. And so I just used that. But then it was so hot that I was in the stores and I was like, I'm hyperventilating.
Well,
So
what
I
does the
wound up
socks cover?
I just bought a regular mask, like,
Oh,
so, but, I don't have it here, but I made my husband one too. It's very cute with a little, like half a kitty and half a kitty, and I sewed it together.
Oh.
So it was very cute. He does use it, actually, goes into the stores, and I say, are people looking at you? Do they comment or anything? He's like, no, people are just,
yeah, they
they're
got
busy.
on.
They didn't even notice. So, but
always-
yeah,
I always-
into the masks.
I always tell the story of we saw this guy with this great mask. It's like black, and we asked him, and it was underwear. The tight underwear. So when I was in my underwear drawer, I found this brand new underwear. So that's what I wear. If you see me with a blue mask, it's a brand new pair of underwear, and it just goes right over.
People are very creative sometimes, though, with the kind of mask that they're wearing, but at least they're wearing them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but they're not wearing the gloves. What do you wear, Camille?
I have a whole slew of plastic gloves that I bought. So I wear those.
Are they the
And Jim
blue
wears
ones
them.
or the
I
plastic?
bought them.
I had black ones and now they're blue.
The plastic ones?
Yes. Mhm.
I
Yeah.
keep, who has a big, giant bottles of disinfectant? Who had them? Somebody's selling these giant bottles of disinfectant. I forget where I was.
You mean household disinfectant?
Yeah, disinfectant for that you can use for this. Yeah, household
Yeah.
disinfectant.
Because I've been having trouble finding the hands, you know, the antibacterial hand wipes. You know,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, well, you know what I did with that? I happen to have one in the house, which I never use. So I put it in the car. We don't go with that much. I put it in the car, and you know those wipes in the cans, they dry up.
Yeah.
I put it in the car, and I poured the disinfectant in it. So now you got they're wet.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you
Good
go in
idea.
the store, you take an extra 4 or 5, you stick them in your little thing there.
Just like the sugar in the restaurants.
Yeah, sure. The
Well,
sugar-
no restaurants, so you might as well get hand wipes.
yeah, I think you have to wrap up, Camille.
Oh, why would,
Do you?
how long have we been?
I think we've been on 20. Oh no, you know something? I think we still have time.
Okay, you watch for it, you keep an eye on the
We
time.
didn't start all over again, did we?
Um,
No, we're still going. We're still
Okay.
not time for you yet. Not time for you yet. But
Yeah.
it's funny. So many people say they love the other part of us. You know, the fooling around. They'll like Rebecca too. Rebecca, when we're in the studio, she'll operate the camera sometime.
Oh, yes, she's good
Yeah,
at
I don't do that anymore. I'll just I'll
it.
Oh,
have to take
wow.
I'll just take a picture of us on Zoom.
Oh, you know something? I forgot to take a
Doing my
picture.
duty.
Alan Laurie. You know, I forgot to do a picture. We had Alan Laurie on today, but I got another picture of him. He's a good guy. Alan Laurie, the CPA. We've had a lot of wonderful, wonderful people on. And we had, how about our students? You know, we did that video that, oh, so many of the students. You know, the students, I don't know what they're doing in the other schools or around, but in our school here, they got all different clubs. They got all
Mhm.
different online clubs.
On
Everybody
clubs.
got another club. But my granddaughter she's in California, where she went to University of Southern California, majoring in engineering, and with the poor kids, they can't even graduate. But she has a thing called Kaylee's Queens. And at first I said, well, isn't that a funny name? You know, you think of Queens. She says, oh, no. Queens today means, you know, like a queen and royalty. She now has 100 people, 100 kids, ages 9 to 16. She had, when she was on the show, what, 2 weeks ago? She had 50.
Yeah,
She has
that's
100
great.
now.
Double the amount. Wow, that's great.
And she said too that actually the digital meetings,
Yeah,
the
digital meetings.
whatever, actually helped her business because it can connect more kids, or I guess it's like 15-year-old girls or 13 to 15. I don't know what
9
ages.
to 16 now. Yeah.
16, but they can connect from all over the world and do a project together.
Yeah.
Like she had a bake project, or whatever they're doing. So that is really great that it just
Yeah, isn't
opens
that
up.
great? What other
Wow.
businesses? Camille, have you seen other businesses that are profiting, doing better now?
Um, not locally so much. I mean, until things are more available, until things open up more, I haven't really paid that close attention.
I say the Chinese restaurants are doing a landslide takeout business.
Oh, the takeout, sure, yes, takeout.
Takeout business is big. Even CVS is doing a takeout, Instacart shopping. So you can do your grocery shopping there and have it delivered. So they're taking new opportunities.
Yeah.
I guess with the grocery stores now. So people are getting creative.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel
But
bad too for the little beauty parlors and nail salons and
Yeah.
what was it? One of the governors, I think it was the governor, she said she had to get her hair done, that was essential, but that her residents in the state didn't need to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
it's-
Becca, what do you think of all the protests going around?
Well, people have the right to protest if they want. I don't, I don't condone any violence as a result of it. I don't personally agree with it, but I just everybody's getting on edge, and it's not good to have people who are just coming at it from two different directions and just sort of, just making a dichotomy here instead of a unity.
Right.
So, what can you say?
And it is really a very difficult balancing act that the people in charge, like the governors, have to make, because on one hand, they're predicting an increase, a double-fold increase in the amount of cases as states open up. But at the same time, there's the health and then there's the economy, and people are being hurt both ways. So what do you do? What do you do?
Well, too, just as like Alzheimer's, when people die of Alzheimer's, it's common for them to put the cause of death as pneumonia and not Alzheimer's. And I guess Alzheimer's needs to be paid more attention to. But that's what this woman from Georgia or North Carolina, wherever she was, she works at a hospital, and she says, like, somebody dies of pneumonia and they put coronavirus.
Yeah,
Oh, dear.
that goes back to my question with to Camille. I didn't know if they do that for insurance purposes, healthcare purposes, or I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But
I don't either. I mean, I think that the coronavirus symptoms are the same as pneumonia. You have trouble breathing, but whether or not it's called coronavirus or not, I don't know the reason why that would be called that way if it's pneumonia.
Well, I have someone, a good friend that was coughing and having symptoms for just like the coughing and stuffy nose, and that was my husband walking by, and we're recording. So I'm sorry. Anyway, she
stick your head in and say hello.
Doctors and really it was like, I don't know if it's allergies or it's coronavirus. So what do? Do you go in there and say, I think I have coronavirus, so that it's billed differently, or you just go in and say, I have allergies, and then wait for the doctor to say, well, maybe you have coronavirus?
I know. There's a lot of gray areas.
Yeah, a lot of gray areas, and I wish we had like a manual to say, when you go to the doctors, you need to ask this, this, and this, because otherwise, they could bill you differently, or it's just how they code.
That's like this person used to say to us, like somebody might have a big something on their face or on their arm, and they said, well, that's a skin problem. If I take it off, I have to bill you. Yeah. But if you say, well, I'm really in pain, that's hurting me, then they can take it off and put it on the insurance.
Right.
Really? Yeah.
That's a to be continued to find out, maybe there should be something where they have to tell you what they're going to code your visit as. So that,
how would you know? How would you know? How would you know they're coding this?
Right. I think they need to tell you. The doctor needs to tell you. Somebody needs to tell you before they bill you, so that you can say.
Can you understand that stuff? Did they send you a book of what's covered, what's not covered?
Yeah.
Who can understand? Well, Camille will understand it.
So you would know, but for the the people that don't know anything about the medical billing or anything insurance, it's a real issue.
Oh, absolutely. And there's one thing for Medicare people. When you go once a year, you can't call it an annual physical because Medicare doesn't cover it. You have to call it an annual wellness exam.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I thought they only allow one. I read somewhere they only allow one.
Yeah, the annual visit.
Right.
So we got to make sure how they bill that. We haven't done You've Got to Be Kidding in so long. I thought maybe we could just do it and then wind up.
I think this whole situation is you've got to be kidding.
Isn't
You know,
it?
the situation we're living in right now is you've got to be kidding. We've never experienced anything like this before.
Never.
Yeah. And
I got so many, you've got to be kidding. I keep getting a thing from the Commonwealth that my car is driven over the Mystic Bridge. It's not the Mystic Bridge anymore. What is it? The Tobin Bridge? Except I haven't had that license plate for 15 years, and I even found, you know, I scan and file everything in the computer. I got a copy of the receipt for turning in the plates from. You still can't get an answer out of them. Funny. How about the banks that charge you for things that then they say they'll take it off the next bill and then they
I've
add it on some more?
I actually had that happen with getting a paper statement, and they would bill me every month. And then they said, no, you know, you're a preferred customer or whatever, and we'll take that off. You shouldn't have been billed for that. And they kept billing me. And it turned out I finally got someone who knew what they were doing, and it was a code, changing a code, you know.
Yeah.
So
Let's change the code. Let's wind up.
Okay.
We're at the end of our time on Zoom, but this has been wonderful, and we can put it up right away. We'll and remember, it's the Lawyer Money and you, and you'll be able. We'll send you a link and everything. we can have Michael join us the next time.
Yeah.
Can I come in?
You can
Talk
just come
about the Moose Hill Sanctuary.
Oh.
Wouldn't that
No
be
booze,
great?
no alcohol. Salute. I had my
Hey,
glass of
yes,
wine.
hey there.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Great
How
to
are
see you,
you?
ladies.
doing good. He's keeping busy.
Yes, I am.
Okay, Camille.
All right, Rebecca, so nice to have you. You know, we're so used to having you as in the studio, and you help us in so many ways outside the studio. It's really great to have you on the camera today.
You're lucky, yeah.
Yeah, and Rebecca does an awful lot for us, and we're very grateful to have her.
I mean,
So to our viewers, if you'd like to join us, you know, if you'd like to be on, if you have any type of contributions or topics that you think would be useful for people regarding the coronavirus, particularly, we'd love to have you on, and please let us hear from you.
yeah.
Because we always welcome your ideas. Remember, this is your show, The Law,
The money and you. Thank you, one and all. Now we just have to figure out how to end this. There we go, end meeting. Hope to hear from you all.